till I'm completely out of rubber. Let's go. I tied a meat tree like a Zeke, got a lover. No sweat. I'm not a priest without a cover. Yeah. I hit the bottom of defeat, then I recover. Bounce, bounce, till I'm completely out of rubber. I tied a meat tree like a Zeke, got a lover. No sweat. I'm not a priest without a cover. I feel the pressure, but it's checkers, boo. Don't topple over dominoes. Gird your loins, the abdominal. Resisting the abominable. Deal with the impossible like any other obstacle. Since failure isn't optional, you better lock it low. Yes, I'm the man, your only fan, I take it personal. Something like a Daniel out of one that makes me merciful. Some shit you never seen, some shit you never heard before. Every interaction with a prophet is a pot of gold. Since I'm a juggernaut, don't let me get a run and start that demon's rib torn apart. You fucking thought I make you Wonder Woman. I make you Wonder Woman. I make you Wonder Woman. Does he love me? Does he love me not? My heart's cold as Karak, like a holy Shabbat. Tears grow with the crop. Another hole in the plot, send a hole in the shot. Every mommy ain't for poppy, just look forward to what? Look what a warrior rock. Sophistication through simplicity. Got him out of the mud, did it without the drugs. Now they about to crush the old man. Your oppressor to that opposition, bugger off. Any bitch denied wisdom, run her off. Year round, we don't take the summers off. Evil Morty fucking with the ricks, you feeling somersault. Young Adolf, I wanna make war. Dropped a lot of claymores up and down the great whore. Like the Fire Lake 4. Pour the prayers of the saints. I'm in that no limit tank. Ranked up on the plates. In the field whipping snakes. Cut the grass for the jakes. Using UPK vernacular as I articulate. This the damn before it breaks. The fire that I kindle is the reason Missy couldn't stand the rain against the window. Burn the temple, watch the simpletons erase it from existence. Pay attention to the vision straight out of the fourth dimension. What they started in the trenches, they brought it into fruition. Likely government assistance. A dove is just a pigeon in the wrong hands. Religion is the fall of man. Me and mine gon' serve the Lord with a strong hand. Yeah. Granted, it's my calling like a 6-shooter revolving. Not a mixed breed, but I'm dogging. These misfits need a jogging. They wrestle with that Pauline. They vessels meant for watering, mind altering. I waltz in like a boss, clean. Pillar of the salt, cream. Rip another claw, supreme. Linen nothing soft. By definition, you're the law. Forgot the nigga God. He said to bear your cross. If not, we gotta knock you off. I hit the bottom of the feet, then I recover. Bounce, bounce, till I'm completely out of rubber. Go. I tied a meat tree like a Zeke, got a lover. No sweat. I'm not a priest without a cover. Yeah. I hit the bottom of the feet, then I recover. Bounce, bounce, till I'm completely out of rubber. I tied a meat tree like a Zeke, got a lover. No sweat. I'm not a priest without a cover. Come on. What I'm trying to tell you, son, be yourself. People don't like after you be yourself. Fuck them up against the wall. Wear handcuffs on and crazy glow and listen. That's all you do. Words to live by. Live by them, son. Okay.
All right. What's going on? Oh, I know, right? Yeah, as I said, it's a definitely interesting class.
Yeah.
It's in the spirit, though. They say study your enemies. Yeah. I guess so. I don't know where it comes from. Let me see. But we live. So we're gonna pick up where we left off last week. I might start a little bit later. Okay. Y'all can see this. Last thing, we're rocking and rolling. All right. right, let's go ahead, clap it up. Shalom, Israel. We are the ISUPK, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. I'm Priest and Officer 5000, Kasar Pakad. And let's see, I might have to edit this thing real quick. Looks like we're missing something. There we go. Add a stream to Oath and Israelites. Yeah, it's not on there. Let's see if it comes up right now. I just realized I pressed the wrong thing. Check and see if it live comes up on there as well. It should be a second. It takes a little. Let me see. Okay, it's saying it on Open Israelites 2 coming up on here. So it should be. It's a while. If you see it in a second. Well, yeah, Shalom Yabashim Yahshai Barakathum to all the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Tham Bashim Yahshai to all the sisters out there online. We're gonna go ahead and get straight into it. Are there any questions online or questions in the room?
Can I get a breakdown on the Hebrews 8 and 13?
All right, let's get it. No sweat. And that was good, Doc, too, as well. Just, being clear, any given time you got a question, you just boom like you did. And, I'll go ahead and call you, or I'll say, hold your peace real quick, and then I'll call on you. If you got any comments as well, the same, just raise your hand. So that's a good protocol. I see the water for that. So you said Hebrews 8. All right. Let's go ahead and get it. Yeah. The young man got it.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 8 and verse 13. In that he said, a new covenant he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away.
Right. So, is there any specific question that you have about this?
They like to use this scripture to say that we're not in the New Testament.
Okay. Yeah, so I've been hearing this new argument. This is another thing that we always say in the UPK, that a lot of breakdowns that we have, we never had to break them down. It's because of other people's making up their own understanding, right? Leaning to their own understanding. So this is a new covenant one that we didn't even have to deal with. It's like saying that Christ was black. Paul and them didn't have to do a breakdown for Christ being black. They didn't have to do a breakdown for the virgin birth. We have to do these breakdowns because someone is making a new doctrine. So now we have to explain these things that was already, understood at one point in time. So I would ask, how are they using this to say that we're not in the new covenant?
Well, they'll sit up there and say that basically it's not finished yet. We kind of halfway in, like we 1 foot in, 1 foot out,
right
in between.
Right.
That's what they'll say.
Okay. I don't see where the in between part is at.
They'll sit up there and say, "Well, see, brother, it's ready, but it ain't quite ready yet.
It's waxing old and is ready to vanish away." All right. Let's see. Let's go up to verse 8 real quick. Blah 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 blah. Let's go to verse 8 real quick.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 8 and verse 8. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when will I make a new covenant with the house of Israel?
When I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel,
and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt.
Right. So the old covenant was about what? Animal sacrifice. This is the covenant of Moses that you have these animal sacrifices and that this is how you will atone for your sins, right? This new covenant is after Christ has passed on, and we are no longer doing these sacrifices because Christ was the ultimate sacrifice. This was the new covenant that was to be made. Go ahead and read that part of read verse 10. Or did you read 9? It's like go through 9.
Okay.
Finish 9 wherever you was at.
Because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their heart, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people.
Right. So then they go into this thing that all of Israel have to have the laws in them. All of them have to follow Christ, which is the future prophecy of when Christ returns and he's ruling over the kingdom. But right now, the brothers that are coming into the truth, the law is in your inward parts. We do not have to be under the law, meaning forced to not commit adultery. Because what was the punishment for committing adultery under Moses? Right? You'd be put to death. Get a brother in. Right? So now under Christ, if someone commits adultery, we're not going to put them to death. We're giving them grace and we're giving them mercy. The brothers that come into the truth are not committing adultery because the law is in our inward parts. You see what I'm saying? So I remember Captain Azaria talking about this a little bit when he was battling Hassad or whatnot, going over this topic. They are trying to say, is everything fulfilled? No. But that doesn't mean we're not in the new covenant. Because if we were in the old covenant, then I would ask them, why are they not sacrificing bulls? Why are they not killing lambs? Why are they not killing sheep when they sin if we're in the old covenant? And that's why I would have to see them prove that. Right? We'll keep going.
Verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest.
Right. So this is where they're taking this as the literal, like, okay, since every person on earth doesn't know from the greatest to the least, but this is a black man's book. We talk with slang, we talk with flavor. If I say, man, I was just at this party and everybody was there, does that mean the whole entire planet Earth was there? Or is this saying that all, young and old, are going to understand it? You come into the truth as men with gray hair, like a Kamamad, is very young men, like 17. I seen a brother 15-year-old coming into the truth, blazing that camp. You know what I'm saying? And you add on to it too, though, when we come into the kingdom, when Christ returns, yes, everyone is going to be under the ordinance of the laws of God. You know what I mean? But I don't know if is there anything more, or we can keep going further down into it, because when you go down into chapter 9, verse 1, it keeps going and explains this more.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead. He also, the guy I was talking to, he was also saying that he so I asked him the question. I said, so would it be okay then for you to stone a homosexual now today?
Right.
And he said, well, go ahead and do it.
Damn.
I said, well, wait a minute, hold on. Like,
he's trying to, I'm gonna cut you off. He's trying to send you to jail.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? This sound like the police doctrine. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. Damn.
So I'm sitting up there saying, so you need to tell me
it's
okay to do it. He said, well, go ahead and do it then. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Nah, because if I sit up there and I stone him, then I'm gonna get punished and I'm gonna get sent to jail.
Right.
So that don't make no sense.
There you go. This is why get that brother hand. You know what I'm saying? This is why we say the ISUBK is the only home of the truth. It's a very bold statement, and we want it to be like that, because when people don't have the ability to stand on something firmly, they don't know what they're talking about. If he came out and said that he was the home of the truth, I would at least respect it to a certain extent. When you start asking him that, he's still questioning. He doesn't know what he's talking about, and it's the blind leading the blind. Matter of fact, can you get that one for me real quick? You understand? Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. Go ahead. It was that Matthew 15 and 14. Oh, shut. So these things, and when it really boils down to it, once you start to learn more and more about the history of these things, what is really going on when people make up these new doctrines, it's not about them having some divine understanding of the Bible, them having some great revelation of how to teach this and how to change things to make it better. It really is about a power grab. What do I mean by when I say that? It's a power grab because if you change what the UPK taught since 1969, now you're the authority. That's what we see in the Sakari, the Guerrilla Hebrew. They start saying, okay, this is the Sabbath day. Then this is fringes. We don't do that. You can have a hat on. So what does that mean? If you do something different from what they teach, then you're the authority over the Bible. You're the one that we have to follow now because you know the Bible better than them. But Christ said, you will not know who his disciples are. How will you know his disciples? I'm asking either one of you.
Christ said you should know them by your fruits.
That's he said you will know who the leaders are by their fruits. Yeah. But how will you know who his disciples, who are his followers?
The sheep. He said that sheep will hear his voice.
That's close to it. Give me John. Oh, you got it?
So I can say they will be following the law, statutes, and commandments. They will be like him.
La. So read what you got first, and I'm gonna pull with what I want next. Yeah.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 15.
Right.
Then answered Peter and said unto him, declare unto us this parable.
Right.
And Yahushua said, are ye also yet without understanding?
Mm-hmm.
Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth in the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out unto the drop? But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. For out the heart proceed evil thoughts,
right.
murders.
So if you went up a little bit, I don't know if I pulled you up a little bit higher, but in this story, they were talking about if you didn't wash your hands before you eat, then you were sinning. They had all these traditions that were not the laws, and they were putting them on these brothers. But drop down to verse 14, for time's sake. 15 and 14. These
chapter,
go ahead.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 14. Let them alone, they be blind leaders of the blind.
Right.
And if the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into the ditch.
Right. So for one, that was a right precept you pulled as well, or that you called out, paraphrasing, that you shall know them by their fruits. These groups that are leading men, you can have all these amazing breakdowns. You can go into the Texas Rexes and know all types of, what's the word they love saying, man? Exegesis. You know what I mean? It sounds real smart, real intelligent, but your fruits don't add up. And you know who knows more than fake Israelites? Blow my mind. Who knows more about the Bible than fake Israelites? Or these other Israelite groups?
Christian?
Damn right. Get up, brother. Christians know the ins and outs. They've been to seminary school. They have education. They've traveled to Israel. They've gone through the records. The so-called Jewish man knows the ins and outs of the Torah, the Tanakh, and the language and all of that. But you have to know them by their fruits. So that is right. But also give me John chapter 13, verse 35. The blind leading the blind. These brothers think that their knowledge makes them right. And that's what Christ said, warn them of the leavening of the Pharisees, right? I think that's John, the first chapter as well. It talks about beware of the leavening of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. These men can teach you these things that are amazing breakdowns and argue why we're not in the New Testament. But did that knowledge of the New Testament stop you from getting pegged? Come on, man. Did that knowledge of the New Testament stop you from buying whores or getting high or loving white women? La. So it's vain knowledge, man. And it's scattering the flock. It's that Jeremiah 23:1. Woe to you, pastors that scatter the flock. I'm paraphrasing. Go ahead when you got it.
Like, so you said chapter 9, verse.
I said, John, what we want, 13 and 35, I believe. But yeah, this New Testament, like I said, it was never a breakdown for this until these brothers developed that. And Commander John Johanna said it the other day. If I was the feds and I wanted to destroy, the UPK or harm the truth, I wouldn't directly attack it first. I would go and get these other groups, get them to slowly change things, then get them to split up and fight each other, and then slowly change things a little more. And this is what you're seeing happening. And so these doctrinal changes are used to make people be so confused about what is going on here, and no one follow it at all. Because we're going to have to keep searching and finding and digging and reading, looking up this and looking up that in order to figure out how to be better and be righteous. When the whole mission is this. Go ahead.
The book of John, chapter 13 and verse 35. By this shall all men know.
By this shall all men know. Go ahead.
That ye are my disciples.
That ye are what?
That ye are my disciples.
Disciple is someone that follows Christ, that does what he told them to do, that obeys his orders and his commandments. Go ahead.
If ye have love for one another.
If you have the best breakdowns.
If ye have love for one another.
If you have all the information in the history of the text of the Greek and the Hebrew.
If ye have love for one another.
You can remember 1,000 precepts. One more time.
Have love for one another.
That is how you know who's supposed to be the followers of Christ.
Right.
Brotherhood is what we teach in the UPK.
Right.
The first and foremost thing. Now, we're going to have breakdown. We're going to know precepts. We're going to go into history. We're going to do the research on the Hebrew. But if we don't have brotherhood, this thing doesn't exist.
Right.
We need to focus on brotherhood, having love for one another. This is my brother right here. This is my brother right here. This is my sister. This is my brother. What do you need? How can I help you? Am I working on my brotherhood? Because the coldest precept that you can pull, brothers, if y'all paying attention, who knows what's the best precept you can pull? Go ahead.
Like I said, the most important commandment.
Now, the most important precept, I say this all, go ahead.
1 John 5:3.
Lie. It's just a trick question.
So I say, is it the one about love thy neighbor?
Lie.
Lie.
If you've heard me say it, I said before, you're gonna remember when I said. You got it, Mawagan? Mm-hmm.
John 13:31.
Lies. That's a trick question. It's not a precept. The coldest precept, the best precept you can pull is your life. Living the Bible is the best precept that you can pull. Being a living example, a living testament of what this Bible says is the best precept you can pull. So anyone can pull anything in here and say, this is what this means, and this is what this means. You should stop eating pork, brother. But you eating pork. So what does it even matter if you're teaching me this? You can say we're in the New Testament, we're not in the New Testament. What does that even matter when you're a child molester? When you're a homosexual, what is this Bible even for if you're not even living the book? And Christ said that brotherhood is how you know you're following him. If your group, these brothers tell you these brothers hate each other because they don't focus on brotherhood. They focus on all these other things that puff themselves up and make them seem like great men, and that the spirit is not on them. If the spirit was on them, they would try and gather us together. They would try to become one body. They would follow the UPK. You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, that's not a prideful thing. That is the fruitful thing that we've seen. And we're going to see it over and over and over again because we know the roots of where these men came from. They cannot deliver good fruit because we knew what was going to happen with these men because they split off from GMS. GMS teaches that you can molest children. So how is this group going to become something? It just doesn't add up. You know what I mean? So that's that I don't want to go into and make this a breakdown about going against these other men because, like I said, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm a friendly, so like, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm a brotherly type brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't hate these brothers. We love these brothers, but we have to tell them the truth. And that's one thing that people don't like. What's that precept, Mama Khan?
That's like if I made the precept where Christ says they hated me first.
Ooh, lie. I said we got to tell them the truth whether they like it or not.
Oh, fuck it.
Galatians 4:16, man. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? You know what I mean? But let's go ahead. Let's get into the topics. Any more questions, though? Please, any questions?
Like
Galatians
1:14.
Is it Galatians 1:14?
That's what I'm asking.
No, Galatians 4:16. Yep. But that is something that is very key, man. That a lot of time people become emotional, especially with the Christian church, that you have been programmed to not be accountable, not to look yourself in the mirror. It's a very effeminate behavior when someone shows you the truth to not respond to it, but respond to something else. I mean, brothers have been through this all the time. You can, explain something to your rib, and the truth is the truth. You know what I mean? But we're going to talk about something else. Don't kill the messenger, accept the message. You know what I mean? That's what we have to teach our brothers coming up in the truth, coming out of the world, is accountability and to look at things for what it is as opposed to how it makes you feel. Because with me coming out of Christianity, hearing that, for one, the big one, you know what I mean? God doesn't love all people. I'm like, man, I see where it says Paul was apostle to the Gentiles. Are they just saying this? They making this up? I have Asian friends. One of my best friends was a white boy. You know what I mean? He was Irish. Ronan, I rock with Ronan. You know what I mean? What does that have to do with the price of rice in China? You know what I'm saying? The book is the truth. And that's regardless of how I feel about it. You know what I mean? And so once you take that out of it, then it won't make someone become your enemy. You know what I mean? But we good? Any more questions? All right, let's go ahead and get into tonight's topic. We're gonna clap it up one more time, man. All right. 7:43 on the time when we're watching this time. So last week we went into this breakdown. The title of the class is "You Can Learn a Lot from Satan." It comes from it's a hell of a class that comes to the first night. I don't know if you saw last week, but it comes from a Kanye West lyric in the song. He was like, "We love Jesus, but you can learn a lot from Satan." I'm like, "Damn, what the hell is he talking about?" I'm like, "He's an Illuminati. He worshiping the devil." That's back when it was big conspiracy theories. And time went on. Then I always heard somebody say, like, you should study your enemies. So I was like, well, let me go look and see what these people that follow Satan believe. And I came across one of these interviews and I started watching it years ago. And when I started listening, I'm like, damn, it helped me know the direction to keep going because of the things that they teach. Everything they teach there is contradictory to what we teach in the Bible. So I was able to learn what not to do because they hide this stuff in the culture of America and don't tell you that it's satanic. What am I saying? They'll tell you things like, I'm just doing me. I don't really follow music artists. Music artists are really big for pushing Satanism. They tell you, I never listen to anybody else or try to be like anyone else. I just be myself and do things on my own. And that sounds like, yeah, that's pretty heavy. That's cool. You don't want to follow anybody. It's for one, it's a lie because there's nothing new under the sun. They do have influences that they follow, But two, it puts this spirit on people of never wanting to follow anyone. Oh, those are sheeple. They're like sheep. They made it become something wrong and evil. You've heard that word before? You heard that word, sheeple? But Christ was the good shepherd because he knows the characteristics of human beings is to follow a leader. And so give me that one that I pulled earlier. Give me Jeremiah 23:1. And this has always been historically the downfall of the children of Israel, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Our leadership has put us or led us into the conditions that we're in. So Christ's biggest battle was two main groups. It was obviously the Romans, the oppressors over the children of Israel, and even more so the leadership, the religious leaders, the spiritual leaders, whatever you want to call them, Sadducees, the Pharisees, these scribes, these men that were supposed to be in charge of our people were misguiding them and misleading them. And I can't believe I forgot about it because I got swept up into it tonight. I was watching General Muhammad on the way over here. I forgot that Creflo Dollar asked for $65 million. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew Marvin Sapp asked for 40,000 last week, and I was just caught in the wave too. Like this dude's crazy. This nigga out of his mind. Not realizing that this Christian church really is a group of pimps.
Right.
And to him, in his mind, he's going like, if you was a pimp, you know what I mean? You went, he was like, yeah, man, I just got a new Mercedes. Bro bought me a Mercedes. And then you go to the pimp ball, they like, brother, this bro just bought me a Maybach. I got 2 Rolls Royces and a 10-bedroom mansion. You're like, damn, my pimping ain't as good as I thought it was. Marvin Sapp, he looking at the history like the great pimps of before me. We got Creflo Dollar, $65 million plane. We got the Catholic Church, 1 billion followers and the most property on planet Earth. We got the Muslim mosques, you know what I'm saying? They got all the oil fields. Like, I just want a little over $40,000. What did I go viral? You know what I mean? Like the small time pimp. But we are unraveling who these are and revealing how evil these men are. Because, like Commander Johanna said he doesn't even have to tell you what he's gonna do with the money. He's not gonna help anybody. He didn't even say there was a mission for it. He just said, give me the money, lock the doors. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like I said, we can't play them games in the truth. We must have rough brother from the street. We start talking about close the door. Somebody really gonna call it. That's a kidnapping charge. I don't know how he got away with it. But some brothers with studs and swords and grills and all, they ain't like, man, these UBK brothers lost their mind. But it's like, go ahead with that precept. I digress.
Verse 24.
Jeremiah 23:1. Whoever got it, go ahead and read. Bible shot.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors.
One more time, slow it down. Go ahead.
Woe be unto the pastors.
What does woe mean? Destruction. Destruction is going to come to these pastors. They can live their life deliciously now, live great, live rich, fly on a private jet. I've never been on a private jet. Creflo Dollar owns one. I can't even understand what that's like. And it really puts into context that 40,000 is nothing. To have the gall and the audacity to ask somebody, the sister was riding the bus. Did you see that part? Are you listening to it? She's talking about, I'm getting on the bus and I'm going to give money to him to buy a plane when he should be giving money to her. That's what the pastors are supposed to do. They're supposed to take care of the flock. So there's nothing new under the sun. Always when you see these things in live time today, just imagine it back then. So they said the Sadducees and Pharisees will come through in large phylacteries, large garments, nice garments, beautiful horses, beautiful chariots, living in great places and palaces. They said King Herod in those palaces in Masada, they had pools in them. I don't have a pool right now. You know what I'm saying? Like they were living better back then than a lot of us today, living in the projects, living in squalor. They were rich and famous back then. You understand? So that puts into context the power that Creflo Dollar has to get that much money today is the power they were giving Caiaphas back in those days, giving men like that were that tried to kill Christ. Not even try. They did it. They were successful in it. But go ahead.
Woe be unto the pastors
Right.
that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
They destroy us by telling us this is a prosperity gospel. That doesn't fix the black community. It causes more evil. It causes you to worship money. It causes you to love Christmas and buy gifts and think that love is gift giving and consumerism, what you can purchase. That destroys us because someone that is programmed to say that material things are valuable will do anything to get material things. And then you can come to the pastor and get forgiven of your sins and say, God still loves you as long as you give me 10% of your drug money. As long as you give me 10% of your stripper money. As long as you give me 10% of your robbing and your whatever, you know what I mean? Then you're good. God still loves you. I mean, that's destroying our people. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord, God of Israel,
Right.
against the pastors that feed my people.
Right.
Ye have scattered my flock
Mm-hmm.
and driven them away,
Right.
and have not visited them.
Right.
Behold, I will visit upon you evil of your doings.
Right. What does it mean when it says you have not visited them? Anybody? Go ahead.
You haven't talked to the knowledge of the truth.
Get our brother in. Right? One more. It's another thing as well. You haven't visited him. It's on topic. I just mentioned this. I alluded to this. Go ahead, Mokan.
Like it, sir, they kept their presence among those that are wicked. They haven't shown themselves to the people.
In what ways? You on to it?
Oh, so like in judgment.
Not quite. Visited them. Okay. Think about this. What does that mean when someone, go ahead, comes visit you?
For face value, sir, I'm thinking like he hasn't come shown brotherhood to them. Like he ain't came to the hood or tried to chop it up with people like how Christ did with the other people that were in the world.
Right. That's on to it. What's another way like you visit? Think about how you visit. I'm just saying, how do you visit people? Where do people need to be visited at? Go ahead.
Going to their home.
Going to their homes. What's another place?
Workplace.
What? Go ahead.
Where they are.
Where?
Where they are.
Where they are? Not quite. Think about, okay, I'm for time's sake. There's two places people need to be visited.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
Prison.
There you go. Get us in. What's one more? You got to go visit somebody in the hospital. There you go. Get a brother in. You know what I'm saying? Like the sick, the criminals, the ones that are hurting. You know what I mean? They have taken this money from them, but they don't give anything back to them. They don't go out and actually visit the people that the money was given to them for. You were not supposed to go and buy a jet for yourself to go to Nairobi. You were supposed to take that money from everyone and feed the people that are hungry. Visit those in prison. Matter of fact, even better, help stop brothers from going to prison at all. Help these people stop getting sick by teaching them not to eat this pork, not to eat this swine, to have some discipline. You can prevent these things. That's what they say in modern times, that prevention is the best thing. You don't want to wait till someone gets diabetes to help them out. You want to prevent them from getting it. You don't want to wait till someone goes to jail. You should prevent them from doing that. And these men were not helping that. So for time's sake, is there anything else on that one? We can go ahead. All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna get into this topic. So I'm gonna play a lot of these videos. We're gonna see how much time we can comb through this. I might skip around a little bit, but this interview right here is, let me go ahead and put it on the screen right now. This, make this big, and blah, 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 blah. Go ahead and play it.
Are filled with all types of anger and rage because of past abuses. What you're really doing, I think, is potentially lighting a fuse. I'm not worried that you're going to pull a gun out of your pocket and shoot me in front of these cameras, but I don't know that somebody else might not do that because of what you said. You're not willing to condemn murder.
Let me answer your questions in 3 points. The masses. We have no regard for the masses. Satanism is a religion for the elite. It is a religion for leaders. It's a religion for competent people. It's not a religion for anyone who wants to be a Satanist. We don't say welcome
The homeless,
to the club.
the handicapped, those with multiple sclerosis
I don't
need not
want
apply.
the homeless, the handicapped.
The
That's
people
your
in Mother
job.
Teresa's home for the dying and the destitute, they need not apply.
I don't want them. You've
should they?
taken that on your shoulders. That's your job. You're doing a great job with the homeless. You help everyone. We're helping those who help themselves, as it says in your Bible. And you can take the weak.
No, it doesn't say that in the Bible.
You can take the decrepit. You can take people who can't help themselves. We don't want them. It's simple. It's very simple.
The homeless you don't want to shelter?
No, I don't want to shelter people who can't take care of themselves. Why can't they?
The hungry and the starving you don't want to feed?
I looked up something right now. 36 plus 24. What is that? 30, 50 is 60%. 60, about roughly 60. In 2023, Black Americans represented 36.6% of the homeless population, while Hispanics or Latinos made up 24%. That's 60% of the people that are homeless. We didn't even throw in the Native Americans. They don't even pay attention to what's going on with GAD. You understand? These figures contrast with their representation in the general U.S. population, which is 13 and 19% respectively. So we double and then some of the homeless population in America. So when they're saying they don't care about the homeless, in essence, they're really saying they don't care about Black people. Right. You can learn a lot from Satan. You see what I'm saying? He will tell you who he is and what they really believe. He said this is a religion of the elite. Give me Matthew 5:3 by Gishal. And then I'm going to keep playing this while you pull that.
Gina, go ahead, Tina. What were you saying?
That produces more of the same. There has to be some change. If you look at the animal kingdom,
I'm sorry, because even produces, what does that allude to? She said that produces more of the same, helping poor people. Go ahead, sis.
Music industry?
Not quite. She's saying if we help poor people, it produces more of the same. What is that alluding to? You got to read between the lines, but they talk in this coded language. What do they call it? Dog whistle language? What is it, Mawakan? What do you think?
She's saying that if we help these people, then it's just going to allow them to flourish and make more of them, like children.
There you go. There it is. Producing sounds like giving birth. You know what I mean? You're producing more children. She's talking about us like they're animals. If you feed Black people and Hispanic people, they're going to make more poor Black people and more poor Hispanic people. If you leave food out in your house, guess what? You're going to get more roaches. So why would you leave food out there when you're going to get more roaches in your house? What should you do? If you're wise and intelligent and elite, what should you do if you got roaches in your house? Go ahead. Only one answer. There you go. That's what they're talking about. Exterminating Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which is kind of interesting because if you follow Satan and Black people and Hispanic people are God's chosen people, you probably would hate niggas. You understand you see how it goes hand in hand? They don't have to tell you. The book is about us. It's about helping us. They read the book. They studied the book more than you do, more than you pick it up. You are going to watch TikTok for 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? You are going to watch Instagram and not read your book that's been given to you to save your people. While a Satanist is going to be in here like this. Don't let them be a better follower of Christ than you. You understand? Don't let them study you more than you do. The Jewish people spend 16 hours a day in the, what they call it, the Shiva, studying your book because it helps them destroy you. Right? They go in here and find out who we are, and use this to enlighten their people of how to think and how to live. So even sometimes they might not even understand it. Some little white kid in Iowa is watching this and like, yeah, why would I help the poor? He's getting indoctrinated on how to hate niggas. Why would I want to feed people that can't feed themselves? You're right. They are going to produce more abortions. Eugenics, kill them all. We need to have more abortions to kill more niggas and spics. It's that simple. They learn this, and it creates their whole ideology of how they're going to war with our people. And the cold part about it is, talked about it last week with these people, is we're sitting here watching two people have a conversation, one opposing, one for. But what is the interesting thing about this? Go ahead.
They're both.
Yep.
Like I said, they're both Satanists.
Damn right. Christian church. And these Satanists, these are the little homies. You know how if you study like the Norteños, you got the Norteños on the street, the frontliners, then you got Nuestra Familia, who's really running things in the back. You got La M that's running the things. You got the Soreños on the front line. These Satanists are the frontliners. The big homie is the Pope. The big homie is the Jesuits. The big homie is the Christian church. You understand?
Right.
So they're sitting there having this battle with each other when in reality, he's laughing like, damn, we believe the same thing. You know what I mean? We're going to play this game right here. But did I have a precept? I want it. Go ahead and read that.
Like so you said Matthew chapter 15 and verse 35.
5 and 3. No sweat. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to chime in. I know y'all brothers have some excellent points. If anything comes to your mind, please. I don't want to be the only one. You know what I mean? Anything come to your mind? Matter of fact, I'm gonna call on you, Mawakan. What do you think about this?
Like comment I could put out there is like, even though this is specifically like they're specifically out here targeting Black Hispanics, because when they think of a poor person, what comes to their mind is going to be a Black or Hispanic person.
Right.
So what's so evil about these people is that they even feel this way about their own people that are poor.
Right.
Like you can be in a Bible belt of America.
Okay.
And these people wouldn't even want to spit in the direction of a poor person. And it's just like, it's like you have no sympathy for anything except yourself. Like, so it's just like these people, like at least with a brother, like I've seen a drug dealer give a homeless man money before.
Right.
You know, but like I was working in Santa Rosa a couple weeks ago. I love working out there because I just be seeing a lot of drugged out poor white people.
Get out of here, man. Yeah. And you know what? So as another thing, there's so many different dimensions. There's so many different breakdowns of this class, and I'm gonna try to get through more for the week. Definitely got about like 10 more minutes of this stuff. Is there certain things that we say sound like what they're saying, and then there's certain things, you know what I mean, that we go against, and they'll be like, y'all evil, you know what I mean? But it's because the Christians have this guise that they're good when it's really the evilness in that. And it, I'll try to explain it better when we get to those points. But yeah, that's a righteous spirit when you're saying that, because they put everything into destroying us, but that same sword they use to cut us down is cutting them. Right. We will not sell drugs to white people. You know what I'm saying? Christ ain't gonna come back and be like, they need fentanyl, and they're like, you know what I mean? We're not gonna do that to them. But they try to destroy us so much, and their greed and their lust for power is what we're seeing happening right now, that they're destroying themselves, which is a great movie. I'm gonna go back. I don't even know if I really watched Frankenstein, but the concept of Frankenstein or these movies where these AIs come and destroy them perfectly represent what is going to happen to Esau because of his pride and his lust for power and greed. These things they build to create, and the perfect example is when the Feast of Purim with Haman. He built these what are they called? Gallows to kill Mordecai, and those same gallows came and he was hung on his son. Right. It's very poetic. Right. You know what I mean? You got something? Go ahead. I
was gonna say, isn't it like that scripture that says they will they'll set a trap for you and they'll fall in their own ditch.
Mm-hmm. Get a brother in. That in Proverbs. Yeah. That's an excellent precept for that. Let's go ahead with you got the precept? No sweat, no sweat.
Go to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 3.
Come on, strong.
Blessed are the poor in spirit.
Come on, read it like Yahweh is speaking.
Blessed are the poor in spirit.
Right. Blessed are the poor in spirit. They said Christ taught with authority. We reading this in red. Christ out there teaching the people. He's letting them know something they didn't know. They didn't understand. He's got to tell you one more time.
Blessed are the poor in spirit.
One more, just the first part. One more time.
Blessed are the poor.
Blessed are the poor. That sounds crazy in America. That sounds crazy to people that worship Satan. What do you mean, blessed are the poor? Why would I want to be poor? See, they think that means that we should try to be poor, stay poor, never have anything. No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying that Christ knew that there was worth in the ghetto. The reason why these people are in poverty is because of their leaders, because of their oppression. But blessed are the poor because Christ is here to deliver them. He sees value in the ghetto when you are able to make a glorious meal out of top ramen and make a spread, and it actually tastes better than what you would go to and get $1,000 plate in San Francisco. You're gonna be like, this tastes like garbage. They didn't charge you $400 for the plate. You can go to the hood, somebody's house in prison and get a better meal than what they have with that. Right. So just imagine how glorious we'll be when we have what they have in San Francisco. Blessed are the poor because we are the salt of the earth. We have the things to make something like oxtails, which is supposed to be trash, a delicious delicacy. Now the prices have gone up. We can't even get oxtails no more because they didn't took it from us. You understand? But if we have all the resources they have, can you imagine the type of things that we could cook and make and do, and technology we can invent? If somebody in the ghetto can invent this with nothing out of the trash, what happens when he's going to the greatest institutions? You know, who knows what we can create. You know what I mean? So blessed are the poor. Keep going.
In spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Right. Theirs is the kingdom of heaven. This is what we're supposed to have. I'm going to play this video a little bit more. All right.
Animal kingdom able to survive. There is no such thing as homeless.
Back to social Darwinism again. In the animal kingdom, you preserve what is strong.
Hang on.
You give more food to the stronger animal.
Until humans
you don't feed
intervene
the
and start
weaker
killing
one.
the
I'm
animals.
too far with these devils. The rich get richer. The poor get prison. It's a book I had. You know what I mean? It's back there. The rich get richer, and you just say the poor get poorer. The rich get richer and the poor get prison. You got to give more money to the rich people. This is why the CEOs make 148 more times than they did back in the 1970s. Because they're like, we got to Elon Musk. He just made, y'all know how much he made since November? Y'all ain't heard that, right? All this about protesting Tesla and they losing money. Somebody asked Google, how much money has Elon Musk made since November? This is what's happening right before our eyes. I knew he worshiped Satan before. He didn't have to do a Nazi salute for me to believe that he was the devil. I know who the devil the Bible speaks of. Right. Because we've been training the UPK to see these people for who they are. You go to a rock concert, though, and they show you they love Satan. You know what I mean? But that's just a small segment. The whole community is operating like they worship Satan. Go ahead.
This is on Google. Since November 2024 election and Donald Trump's victory, Elon Musk's net worth has surged, with reports suggesting an increase of around 170 billion, driven by the surge in Tesla's stock price and investors' optimism.
He made $170 billion in the past couple months, Akim. He almost doubled his worth since rocking with Donald Trump. And they will not pay us a livable wage. People working overtime, triple time, can't see their kids, can't do anything. People literally dying, working.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I need to go to the hospital. My knee hurt. Like, I'm going to get evicted. That's slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make a choice between keeping your toe and going to work. You know what I mean? It's like, well, damn, I got 9 more. I'm just gonna hobble in. You know what I mean? Like, you are gonna kill yourself in order to survive when this bastard has made 170 billion. Like, they make it so small that if you really understand what $1 billion is, I'm gonna keep going for time's sake. Go online and look up what $1 billion looks like, what $1 billion looks like in rice. Look at what it looks like in real time. They'll show you a little video of a stack of $1 million. Then they'll show you a stack of you know what I mean? Has anybody ever seen that before? You know what I mean? It just looks ridiculous. Like they're bringing a whole truck. He got one of those billions in cash, 400 sometimes over. He's up in the 400. Your Brian can't even comprehend how much money that is. And that's just him. And the things that we forget is that if he made that much, he's got about 1,000 friends closer to him that made hundreds of millions of dollars with him that time. So once again, they want to give more to the strong. Social Darwinism. How do you create a perfect animal? Evolution. The strong survive, the weak die off. Once again, social Darwinism is saying they need to make a master race of people that need to get stronger so they can get their weapons and they can get their power and they can kill off all these niggas and spicks and savages. This is what Satanists are saying. All right, let's go ahead.
There's no welfare in
Nicholas,
the animal
I'm
world.
trying to remain as academically detached as I possibly can.
It's not an academically detached question.
Is so absolutely disgustingly outrageous. Now,
And
just
to
wait,
me-
just wait a minute. Let me.
To me, it's disgustingly outrageous
Zena.
that you would help these weak people who are draining our resources, who are causing so many problems. We could be doing positive things in the world.
Zena, I want to ask
These
you,
weaklings are taking away
Yeah,
all of our
well,
energy
that's-
and resources. And you've decided.
This dude get knocked the hell out. You know what I'm saying? But they want to call some niggas weaklings, not realizing the reason why we're in these conditions is because we don't follow the laws of God and we don't, you know what I'm saying, have brotherhood. It's not because we're weak. It's because they're evil and we sinned against our God. But these people really believe this bull. And one last thing he said right there that just something came to me, but I'll let it go. But you know, he said these people. You know, they always talk about that. Well, you know, in the movies when the white people they be like, "What's up with you people?" The black lady be like, "What you talking about, you people? Like, who are these people? Why don't you just say niggas? Like, you just keep saying these alluding to welfare. That's a sign. You know what I mean? Welfare. These people, weaklings. Like, come on, man.
Decided to
Say
help
what
them.
you
That's
mean, you know what I mean?
disgusting to me.
you've never been to a refugee camp.
Why would I possibly want to go to a refugee camp?
Well, Zena, I've been
You have
there.
this
I wanna ask
masochistic
Zena.
love for
She's a woman.
weakness.
And what do you think that'll gain you?
Because
You wanna ask me?
women have more
'Cause women
sensitive
are
natures.
soft.
I just want to make sure it isn't this firm resolve of this
If
man
you
who's
think
over.
that you're gonna get a soft reaction from me because I'm a woman, then you
I'm
won't.
not. If you were in an Ethiopian famine camp,
What would
You
I be
would-
doing there?
you
Isn't
would
that the
not-
problem of the Ethiopian government to take care of their own people? Why should we be taking
no, I tell you
care
what, it's
of
the
them?
problem of. It's the problem.
Like I said, sometimes the little sprinkles of truth. You know what I mean? Like, we should be taking care of our own people. We shouldn't depend on Esau in order to be better. So that's a little bit like, okay, yeah, the Ethiopians should take care of themselves. And these other people should take care of themselves. But the way they're masking it is really they're trying to destroy us.
Problem of a communist totalitarian ideology in the Mengistu government that put those people in the place,
I agree with you
philosophy,
there.
Well,
sir,
that's
a philosophy
fine. So that's
of
fair.
dialectical materialism, a communist me first philosophy that is
nonsense. Let
not
me-
far from what you said.
See,
now,
that's-
just
okay,
wait.
With that, with the communist thing again, which really is counter because capitalism is very about me first. Ain't helping nobody. We see Elon Musk has done all this with the capitalists. So this is how it's showing he's the devil. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? They both lying. You know, it's an amazing thing to watch.
Let's put it back on an academic level.
No, let's get back to the refugee camp.
Okay, now
You don't. I want to ask Zena. Zena, you don't want to feed starving people. You want them to die. That's what you're telling
Now,
me.
I like your salesman technique of putting words in people's
Well,
mouth.
then you speak for yourself.
Did I ever say I want them to die? I'm saying, why do they exist in the first
Would
place?
you feed them?
Why would they be allowed
Would
to
you raise
exist?
money? Would you do what you could to collect the resources to feed them?
Would a wolf raise money to collect resources
For the
to feed
whelps of the litter.
a
Would
monkey
you-
in the tree?
Just yes or no, would you?
I'm using analogies. No, of course I wouldn't. If I did that, wouldn't they become more and more dependent on me and less dependent on themselves?
No, not
Why is
necessarily.
that?
Well, that hasn't been proven yet.
No,
so.
not necessarily.
Well, if you look at the welfare state we have and the people who are on welfare,
What are
isn't
they
it
doing
true
to
that there are
improve their lot?
generations of
Nothing.
there are generations of welfare recipients?
And then what's the devil in details of that one? The welfare state. Let's see if anybody can catch it. Go ahead. We know what they're saying, but what's the truth? Go ahead.
The truth is that they're the ones that's mostly on welfare.
Yeah, that brother, it ain't soft. Even inside of that, you know what I'm saying? They want to make it about us, but white people are the ones that have food stamps the most. They get farmers, what's that called? Subsidies. All their businesses get these loans and they don't have to pay them back, grants, everything to prop them up, vet loans, vet this, everything to put themselves up. That is really the welfare state. No one's bigger than the welfare state than Wall Street.
Right.
They had a big crash of the market in 2007 and they got bailed out with billions of dollars. How is that not the welfare state? But they mad because you can spend money on Cheetos and they want to cut the Cheetos out your food stamps. Like you're the problem with the world. These people are the devil, man. But I'm glad that they give you a glimpse of what they think, because the real dangerous one sitting here is the one that's in the suit that's talking about he cares about the people in Ethiopia. Because he's going to go over there and say we're raising money to feed these people in Ethiopia and buy himself a jet, which is more satanic than that. You understand?
I
It's not
understand
like
that.
it's not like just a temporary thing.
No one's defending welfare.
Well, but it's all the
Here's-
same
look,
But
concept.
we're talking about
You
people.
just-
No. We're not talking about either lazy people or incompetent people.
Incompetent
We don't care
people.
about them niggas either.
Yes, we are.
Sir.
The Ethiopian government is incompetent.
But the people who suffer the starvation
Why do we have a responsibility to help them unless we believe this nonsense in the Bible?
Because they're,
If we're realists, we
because they're
don't
human
have any.
beings, because they feel pain, because they suffer, because they hurt. Does not the hurt and pain
That
of another
isn't enough. That isn't enough reason
does
for
not the hurt and suffering of another human being at all
if
touch your
if the human being is worthy
So
of
what
my
you're
attention. I love people who are worthy of my love. That's very few.
And what you're saying
People
is
who
we
are
have-
strong, I admire them. I'll help them. I won't help people who are weak.
And
Okay.
what you're saying is we have to take the responsibility of other people's actions upon ourselves when we've done nothing, and absolutely nothing, to have that result.
Mm.
We didn't do anything to
Does that
promote.
matter? They hurt. I mean, they're in pain. Does it matter? Does it matter? They hurt. I mean, you hurt. You call yourself an animal, but you hurt. You cut your finger. You bleed. You
And we take care
trip
of
and
it.
fall
We
and
take
break
care
your
of it.
leg.
Where's the
But-
social agency that helps hurt Satanists? It doesn't exist. We help ourselves. And we encourage the same kind of self-discipline.
Well, you go to
and
the
fortitude.
same hospitals I can
And
go
let me
to.
tell you something. When I go to a hospital, they see I'm dressed in black. They look at what they call occult symbolism and they say, oh, you're a Satanist. I get treated last.
No, he's discriminating.
That's because
Well, you've chosen to wear that.
and I'm proud of it. I'm not complaining. I'm
And well,
saying,
why don't they
look
say,
at the
"Oh,
reality
you're
of the
wearing
world.
a camel hair blazer. You're a Christian. Why should we?"
I'm not asking
I
for
wouldn't
help.
treat you last.
Okay, but I'm telling
I
you
wouldn't
that's
treat
This
you
is
the way
last.
the
just
world
standard
is. We don't
hospital.
look for help. Why should we give help to others?
This is Zena. This is your
Luke chapter 4, verse 18. I'm gonna keep playing it while you get that.
father's book, the Satanic Bible. I mean, this is it. This is the diatribe of the devil that has brought together thousands of people in your belief system. I dip my forefinger in the watery blood of your impotent, mad Redeemer and write over his thorn-torn brow, the true prince of evil.
Isn't that poetic?
Do you believe that, Zena?
I love how they say that too.
And aren't you taking it a bit out of context?
I'm reading it. I mean, I'm reading
Oh,
it.
Well,
okay.
isn't
Hand me that
I-
holy Bible, and I'll read you something too.
Zena, you know what I'm reading. I mean, you know the
Isn't
book.
Je-
It's page
Right.
by our
30 right
standard,
here.
Jesus is the
I-
true Prince of
Will
Evil.
you
Let
let
me-
me read something from my own book?
Well, let me read it first.
Oh, and
Okay.
why is that?
You don't want to? I'm reading.
Why
I
can't I choose things to read as you would choose things from your
well,
book carefully
because
to
I'm
read?
the person conducting the interview right now.
Well, maybe we should interview.
Pastor, he said, "Bitch, I'm running this show over here." That's how the brother tried to do us up there. If you don't want to be here, you can go. I'm like, damn, I thought we was here for the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? But I digress, man. But he was like, yeah, I'm running this up here. You can get your own show. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what we do at camp too. They always want to tell us what to do. Now this is go get your own podium if you want to talk about that. You know what I mean?
You.
I
But
gaze.
survival of the fittest. You
I
are a
gaze
survival
into
of
the
the
glassy eye of
Why
your
aren't we-
fearsome
Say it.
Jehovah.
Right?
I pluck him by the beard. I uplift a broad axe and split open his worm-eaten skull.
right.
Did you know who wrote that?
You tell me.
Do you know who Ragnar
I don't
Redbeard is?
Who?
Ragnar Redbeard?
No idea.
No. Yes, Redbeard. Yes, he wrote this. Well, your father's requoted it here.
Okay.
Whatever the case. Now, this is violent. This is abusive. It is
To Jehovah.
It's insulting, but beyond the insulting part of it, do you not find any reprehensibility in using this kind of language? Mind you, I don't believe that Buddha is God. I don't believe that Muhammad was a prophet, but I would never write something like this
Well,
about Muhammad or Buddha.
that's
course
because you
not.
feel like you have to please everyone.
No,
all the
because
time.
I would have some feelings of sensibility. I mean, you don't feel that there's any inciting of any violent rage in people in this type of language.
Obviously there is.
Of course
I'm
there
asking
is.
Zena, do
Of
you?
course there is.
Oh, you do believe there is the inciting?
There's the inciting of some realization. I wouldn't say of a violent rage. There's the inciting, what I've heard anyway, that people read that and they say, yes, that's the way I've felt all my life.
All right, I want to go through the 9 satanic statements, and I'm going to ask each of you alternately, if you will, to elaborate on them so that there is no
They should be pretty
misunderstanding.
self-explanatory, but
Unlike
Okay.
the Christian Bible, the Satanic Bible speaks for itself. It requires no scholars to have councils
There's
of
no
Trent to
hidden
decide
meaning.
what this word meant or
I
that
wouldn't
word.
say that the Bible does either, but let's get to the 9 satanic statements, okay? Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Zena?
isn't that self-explanatory? What is indulgence? That you have to be good to yourself before you can adequately be good to others? Is that evil? Is that wrong?
Are there any?
That's some things that we hear too, right? Like I hear artists say that. Like, you know who says that a lot though? I gotta be good to myself or I'm good to others. That's a big one that we hear a lot. Who says that the most? I can think in my mind.
Artist, sir?
Artists say that, but it's another big group. I'm gonna throw you off. It's not too. What you got? Who does that sound like? If I say it in the voice, y'all gonna understand it.
That sounds like a psychologist. Like that's something that's in psychology a lot.
But who repeats it? You want? Go ahead up. Who's always talking about I gotta take care of myself before I take care of somebody else?
I want to say a Christian.
I don't know. They are a big segment of Christians.
I want to say a Christian.
You got it, Mawakan?
Black people.
Not quite. It's this part, but I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm gonna try to say it like them. I gotta take care of myself while I take care of somebody else. I gotta focus on me and what makes me happy.
No.
Go ahead.
Women.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? Why did your kid not have a father? Because I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy, so I'm leaving. So I can be there for my kids. I got to take care of myself to love them, which is evil as hell, and it's satanic, and it's selfish. You understand? Go ahead, up.
Well, I want just to clarify. When I said black people, I was saying black people.
Go ahead, don't hold the truth. You know what I'm saying? This is something, but this is not their fault because these oppressors put this in the culture and they teach it to our women just like Satan did in the garden. He went to the woman first and he tells you these little lies that sound good, right? What is that precept? Is it in Jeremiah? Is it Jeremiah? I think it's Isaiah 10 or Isaiah 30 and 10, where it talks about tell us smooth things, teach us things, don't tell us the truth, basically, teach us lies and deceit, things that you want to hear. And so that's how a lot of times they're able to finesse women, because how does that sound wrong? You see what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't sound wrong unless you heard a Satanist say it. But when I'm gonna bring her part back real quick right there.
Limits on that
just think about it,
intelligence?
how all the other people we've heard.
There's another section in the Satanic
same
Bible
thing.
that differentiates
They don't think it's
indulgence
evil when
from
they say it.
compulsion to others. Is that evil? Is that wrong?
Let's get to the 9 satanic statements, okay? Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Zena?
Isn't that self-explanatory? What is indulgence? That you have to be good to yourself before you can adequately be good to others? Is that evil? Is that wrong?
Is that wrong? Now look up the definition of indulgence, and that's not what it means anyway. We looked it up last week, right? So that's not it, but that's the spirit they're putting on people, and a lot of families been destroyed by that because they start to believe if mama ain't good, the kids ain't good, and if I ain't happy with myself, I have to leave and get my happiness to take care of them. When if you really cared about the child loves their father. The child doesn't have the issues you have with their father. They're happy with their father. You're going to take away their happiness and cause them to get high, because children that grow up without their fathers get high more than children that don't. They get molested more. They have more sexual promiscuity. They don't go to college. They go to prison. They're more emotional. All these things are going to happen to your child because you're not happy. But you don't care about them, which is what you're actually saying you're doing. It's selfish, it's greed, it's satanic, it's evil. And these are the things they tell you in a nice way. And you'll read some quote or see somebody's interview. You're like, yeah, that makes sense. I should take care of myself first. That's not the spirit of the Lord. Go ahead. What is indulgence?
Indulge.
Right.
To allow oneself to enjoy the pleasure of, become involved in an activity, typically one that is undesirable or disapproved of.
Damn. That's complete. She didn't say none of that. She left that part out. Like, I'm gonna do indulgent is sexy red. She's indulging. You know what I mean? Every time you see her, she counting up money, she's smoking a blunt, she twerking wherever she want. She's just living her life up. She's indulgent. These rappers indulgent. Lil Wayne is indulgence. If you had a poster board of indulgence, I'll put Lil Wayne up on the screen. This nigga didn't do nothing but sit lean and get high to his heart's end, and now his hair falling out. He looks like a gremlin. You know what I'm saying? He don't know what day it is. They done revived this nigga about 1,500 times. He's not dead yet. He's a walking miracle. If he come into the truth, he's gonna have the greatest story. You know what I mean? But either that, I doubt he's coming in the truth. So not to shock you all, but Lil Wayne's gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not making it to old age. If he continues the path he's going, it's gonna be a whole bunch of RIP. He was the greatest rapper ever alive, and now he's the greatest rapper that's dead. You know what I'm saying? Because he's done nothing but indulge. He's followed Satan. You know what I mean? Right. But let's keep going. What we got for Luke?
You said chapter 18, right there?
Yeah, so if the opposite of indulging is, then we abstain. They said not to abstain, we abstain. We don't smoke cigarettes. We don't smoke weed. We don't smoke crack, heroin. We don't pop Percocets. We don't sleep with white women. We don't eat pork. We don't eat shrimp. We don't get tattoos. We don't celebrate Christmas. We don't celebrate Halloween. We got a whole list of 600 plus laws telling us what not to do to be righteous. It doesn't sound like fun. It doesn't sound like you do what you want to do. You're doing what someone else is telling you to do, but you're actually going to be free. I forget that precept, but it'll come to my mind. But go ahead when you got it.
Concept.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 18, and verse 1. And he spake a parable unto them to this end.
Where was that? Where you at? Luke.
You said 18.
Luke 4. Luke 4 and go to 16. Actually, want to start at 16. So I'll write out one more time, then we're going to switch our reader. That's my brother, man. I mess with him a lot. He's my nigga, though, man. Fuck, I rock with this. I'm about to use wrong language, man. That's my brother. You know what I mean? 18. Yeah, is the coffee hidden?
Yeah.
Gotta get it. I know it's been a long time. We're going in the class, man. You know what I mean?
Book of Luke, chapter 4, and verse 18.
Start at verse 16, Baba Kashar.
Verse 16. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went unto the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up before to read.
Right, and that's another thing. Just little certain things like that. Like if you listen to NBA YoungBoy, he'd be talking. He'd be like, "I did this to do that." And I'm like, man, that's a real Louisiana country backwards type talk. I'm like, what you mean I'm for to go do what? What does that mean? But when I read about it, I'm like, damn, that's some nigga type talk. Like he stood up for to read. Like he went up to go and read. That's basically what it's saying. So, well, go ahead.
Verse 17. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah.
Right, Isaiah, right. Keep going.
And he went and when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written.
Mm-hmm.
The Spirit of the Lord was upon me.
The Spirit of what?
The Spirit of the Lord was upon me.
Keep going.
Because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor.
To who?
To the poor.
So Christ, he's reading his precept and he's saying the Spirit of the Lord was upon him because he had to go preach the gospel to the poor. And it's going to be something that's key on here. I'm going to keep going, but this is very important, showing a contradiction to how they are. Keep going.
He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captive.
To who?
To the captive.
The slaves, right? Keep going.
And recovering of sight to the blind.
So not even physically he healed the blind, but also spiritually. We've been blinded to see the truth. Christ came to heal that. Keep going.
To set at liberty them that are bruised.
Right.
To preach the acceptable year of the Lord.
Right. All right. Now, go and get Isaiah 61 and 1. Baba Kashah. And then I'm going to play a little bit more of this.
Are there any limits on that indulgence?
There's another section in the Satanic Bible that differentiates indulgence from compulsion.
Okay.
Maybe you'd
And
like to read that part.
self-destruction.
Would you not, let's suppose that a pedophile's indulgence were the molestation of children? Would you place that under this particular heading here of the first satanic statement, if that's his indulgence?
It's clearly stated in there how we feel about children and animals, and you know it.
I'm asking you.
It says in the Satanic Bible that we revere children and animals above all things.
So there are limitations on the indulgence.
Of course. There are limitations imposed by your own self-discipline and fortitude, not because you believe what you read from God. That's a very primitive and silly way to go about living. We live because we know what is right for us.
You know.
Mm-hmm. And to us, as it says in this...
You've constructed your own individual reality.
And I think it works a hell of a lot better than the Christian one.
Okay. Well, since you talk so much, I'm going to come back to you for number 2.
I'd have had to cut on that. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I haven't seen it unless they're really good at hiding the kids and killing them and putting them away. There's a lot more molestation come out of that Christian church than the Church of Satan.
Right.
So he did cut them if you really pay attention to that too. Like I said, this is also to show you can learn a lot from Satan, like how evil the Christian church is. Everything he is going against them for, the Christian church represents a way lot more. They've killed way more people than the Church of Satan. They've molested way more children than the Church of Satan. They have done all these things that they are saying they're evil for, which is how they're looking at them. They're like, Mr. White Man, who the hell are you to come and tell us we're wrong? Because we want to worship Satan. When y'all say y'all love Christ and do everything against them. You know what I mean?
Two.
Right.
Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams. I think that does need some explanation. What do you mean?
I really don't see how it does need explanation.
What is vital existence?
You don't know what vital existence
I'm
is?
asking you.
Our life here and now, living for, as I've said, all of the earthly and carnal pleasures. What is a spiritual pipe dream? Looking to some external deity or source for your answers. If something horrible happens to you, you just pass it off and say it's God's will. I'd call that a spiritual pipe dream.
Okay. Nicholas, Satan represents undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit.
Look at the world as it really is. Don't delude yourself into thinking it's a way that it is not by calling upon holy cant and scripture as your guide to life. Let's look at the real world, look at the human condition as it exists right here and now.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if it plays too fast. I'm gonna try to speed it up a little bit because it got about 8 more minutes. I usually don't play this many videos this long, but it's just so much in here in these short 8 minutes that I think is important, and we're gonna pull all the precepts out and close the class out. But let me see if it's too fast at this speed. I'm trying to speed it up.
4. Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. See it?
Well, I already explained that too, insofar as turning the other cheek. Kindness, if you're kind to me, then obviously I will be kind to you. We treat people as they treat us. If someone's going to be rude to us or treat us inappropriately, then they have to expect that in return. We won't waste our kindness on what we would consider ingrates, and that is being treated with disrespect or rudeness.
Slow down a little bit.
Number 5. Satan represents vengeance instead of turning the other cheek. And let me flip over here to page 33 and also quote in companion to that, quote, hate your enemies with a whole heart. If a man smites you on one cheek, smash him on the other. He who turns the other cheek is a cowardly dog.
Doesn't that speak for itself?
Yeah.
So even that, like I said, is intertwined because we don't teach that either. You know what I mean? We teach turn the other cheek to your brother. They taught us in the Christian church to turn your cheek and be oppressed and let these people rape and destroy your whole family. That's not what Christ was teaching. And it's satanic to teach that. You know what I'm saying? So he's making them seem evil for teaching that you should hit somebody back that's abusing you, when really it's evil to teach someone not to hit someone back if they're abusing. You know what I mean? Right. So sometimes you got to catch that they're going to say some things that.
What's your point?
Like I said,
I'm just asking you. I'm asking you. These are your beliefs.
Right.
Boulevard and you were attacked
because your grandma watching this is going to be like, see, I got to let them beat me with Martin Luther King because look what Satan said. Satan said him back. I shouldn't do that. I should just bow down and let somebody step on my face. Like she gonna believe that this other dude is the truth to follow. She gonna follow the other guy just because he's not a Satanist, and she's gonna get further falling into the traps of Satan. Go ahead.
They're kind of hypocrites because, well, they are hypocrites because one moment you saying that we shouldn't help these people at all on the street and feed them at all, and then the next minute you're saying, "Oh, we're gonna treat them the way that they treat us." But if that's the case, then you treat them evilly by not helping them. So shouldn't they treat you evilly too?
Right. Get a brother hand. That's the spirit. You understand what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of contradictions in these people because they're teaching nothing but lies. And that's why it said, "You are of your father, the devil." John 8:44, where it says that he was the father of lies. So even when they do tell the truth, it's just a result of a double lie, even if they give some kind of truth, and they're just in a spiral of lies. That's what I'm saying. We're just watching two liars, two negatives, just trying, you know what I mean? Just sparks of lies going on, but it reveals what the truth is in their cesspool of lies we watch. Yep.
By a gang of drug dealers for no apparent reason.
That's what I had
to do.
Right,
would you bow down to them and say, "I'll pray for you"?
Like this.
Or would you try to do something to survive?
Well, you see, I don't. Well, you're asking. You want me to
No,
answer
you
the
asked
question?
me hypothetical questions. So,
you see.
Well, I already explained that too, insofar as turning the other cheek. Kindness, if you're kind to me, then obviously.
I'm just asking you. I'm asking you. These are your beliefs.
Right. Boulevard and you were attacked by a gang of drug dealers for no apparent reason. What would you do? Would you bow down to them and say, "I'll pray for you"?
Or would you come with these dog whistles? A pack of drug dealers? Come on now, man. Why they just might as well just say niggas and Heil Hitler? You know what I mean? Just come on out the closet. You know what I mean? A pack of drug dealers. Who else is that in the 80s other than a bunch of black men? Like this is literally showing you what the people that worship Satan hate. They hate black people. You know what I mean?
Try to do something to survive.
Well, you see, I don't. You're asking. You want me to
No,
answer
you
the
asked
question?
me
I mean, I'll be
hypothetical
happy to answer the
questions.
question.
So
You see, I most certainly, if my life were endangered by someone who murderously or violently were attacking me. Now, some Christians would differ on this. Some would say kneel and pray. I'm not one who would kneel and pray. I don't run 5 miles in the morning for nothing. I'd run. I'd get out of there as fast as I could or fight for my life. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about vengeance and revenge.
If you wrong me, however you wrong me, I will give you that same wrong back.
But if someone is physically striking you with their fist or hitting you with a steel rod, there is no question in anyone's mind you're being wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But in the abstract, and this is what we get back to earlier, it seems that you reserve the right always to determine who is the wronged party by your natural brute instincts.
Yes,
and what
I
I'm
do.
saying
That's right.
is that the Bible tells us that the heart is deceitful and wicked, and who can know it? And common sense tells us that we all have been mistaken at some point in our lives, assuming that we were the wronged one, when in fact we may have been the person hurting someone else.
The Bible teaches us to hate our own instincts. The Bible is a guidebook to how not to survive. The hero of the Christian religion is someone who willingly sacrificed themselves. Now, to me, someone who willingly dies on a cross and thinks that's a victory is a neurotic person. I don't worship such a God. So if you want to sacrifice yourself, go ahead. We want to live and survive. And you
give me where we at, Isaiah 61:1. This is key right here, because this is the precept that Christ pulled in Luke that we read. But if you read down a little bit further, it shows you like the militancy of Christ, shows you the revolutionary he was, and he shows you the powerful thing. We said we missed the part where he closed the book. Matter of fact, Salaki, just hold that page, go back to Luke real quick. And whoever gets it first, but time say we're going to go to it, because like I said, I got a little bit more, about 5 more minutes of this video. Luke 4, we didn't finish the key parts of this. Verse 19.
The book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 19.
Matter of fact, read up a little bit where it says to set at liberty, right?
Oh, come. Mm-hmm. To set at liberty them that are bruised.
Right. When you get liberated, that means you're free from captivity, you're free from slavery. So he wants to liberate this group of people, the children of Israel, because we've been bruised and abused, right? Keep going.
Verse 19. To preach the acceptable year of the Lord.
Right. To preach the acceptable year of the Lord. These things are going to happen when the Lord comes and delivers his people. Keep going.
Verse 20. And he closed the book.
Right.
And he gave it again to the minister.
And
sat down.
Keep going.
And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him.
And Christ so cold, he came up, read something real quick, read a precept, and then closed the book and went and sat down. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And he began to say unto them, this day is this scripture fulfilled in your ear.
And it's even cool, like visualizing that. Like he didn't say it. I might have always read it like he was up there, read what had happened, closed the book, and then said that part. But it's like he came up here, read this precept, then went sat with Mama Khan and said, that's talking about me. Like that's gang. Like what the hell? Everybody looking at him like, who is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? Now go to Isaiah and read the precept and see how even more cold it is. Because when you see that precept in its full and entirety, you see how gangster Christ is. Because they said Christ is a fool because it's a religion about somebody getting killed and sacrificed and dying, and that's it. You worshiping a God that wants you to die or just give up your life all the time. That's not what Christ was here for. He's telling them his mission right here in Isaiah. Go ahead.
Go to Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 1.
Right.
The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me.
Right.
Because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
Go ahead, to the poor.
He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted.
To heal them. Go ahead.
To proclaim liberty to the captives.
Free the slave. Go ahead.
And the opening of the prison.
Who's locked up in prison? You know what I'm saying? Blacks and Hispanics. Go ahead.
To them that are bound.
Right.
Verse 2. To proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord.
This is what Christ said. He's so gangster, right? But you didn't hear the rest of it. You go to Isaiah and read what he's talking about. What is the acceptable year of the Lord? What does the Lord want? Some brother that just died on the cross and that's it? Sacrifice his life and give up? Like that's what the Satanists believe it's about? Go ahead.
Are you asking that?
I want you to read it.
Come.
Go ahead.
Come.
This is the acceptable year of the Lord. This is what we pray for. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. Go ahead.
And the day of vengeance.
The day of what?
Of vengeance.
Keep going.
Of our God.
Of our power. You understand? This is the acceptable day of the Lord. When Elon Musk gets everything that he deserves for oppressing the Lord's chosen people. Right. When these people in power get their recompense or their payback for what they've done. So this Christian pastor don't want to talk about that. He's just going to tell you that we got to love everybody, hold hands, get abused. That is masochistic or whatever. Like, that is some sick, demented religion where you just become abused forever and do nothing about it. When Christ said, I'm here to free these niggas from prison. I'm here to end the slavery of my people. I'm here for the acceptable year of the Lord when it does what, Mawakan?
The day of vengeance.
The day of vengeance. Go ahead.
Of our God. Mm-hmm. To comfort all that mourn.
Give that a hand. That's what this is about. That's the context they don't want to teach. You have something on it, Doc? All right, let's go ahead back to this video and let's keep it going.
You live by returning a wrong back to the person. It's very simple.
I think that's the irony, too, of all the accusations of our sacrifices, whether they're children or animals or whatever. The whole concept of sacrifice is a Christian concept. Because we don't believe in any anthropomorphic deity, there's no need to sacrifice anything for anything.
Well, we'll get to that. I'd like to come back to that in a moment if I can, please. And if I forget, you please bring it up, all right? I want to get through these statements here. Number 6, Satan represents responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires. Zena?
A psychic vampire is someone who drains you of your vital energy, someone who is constantly looking to you for their support and for their energy. Responsibility to the responsible means if you demonstrate that you have a certain amount of responsibility, you will gain that much more responsibility. Your actions are rewarded by what you achieve or what you acquire, rather than being siphoned off to someone who hasn't deserved them.
You know,
that sounds like what women are saying a lot today too. Psychic vampire, they draining my energy. I'm drained up, all my energy I done put into this man, and now I ain't got nothing. And now I need to, you know what I mean? Like, if you really listen to what she's saying, they have indoctrinated our women with this so much, and now we have a group of men that say the same things too now. You know what I'm saying? They didn't grow up with single mothers, and if you listen to these brothers today, they start saying the same thing. Right. And it just is really, like I said, it's so evil because our true love is about sacrifice. Brotherhood is about sacrifice. You haven't even started the brotherhood till you start doing the things you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so you help someone out when you don't want to. That's real brotherhood. That's real love. You know what I'm saying? You get up in the middle of the night, you do this, do that. You were sacrificing. Christ did the things he didn't want to do. He said, Father, take this cup from me. If thou, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm paraphrasing. I don't want to horribly paraphrase Christ. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can remove this cup from me, if you can take this away from me, that's love. You know what I'm saying? It's not, oh, let me, Christ didn't go in the thing talking about, yeah, let me get myself together before I go help these niggas. Let me get me good, then I can help black people. Nah, he gave up everything he had for his people and his nation. That's how we're supposed to be. That's the spirit we're supposed to follow in. Go ahead.
With that spirit, is that the same spirit that Christ talks about in Luke, where he says, you must hate your own life? Right.
If he that tries to save his life will lose his life. He is willing to lose his life will gain his life. And that was the precept I was alluding to earlier. It's like the things that when you say, oh, we're losing our life. We don't have Christmas. We don't have Thanksgiving. We don't have 4th of July. We don't have shrimp. We don't have crab. We don't have weed. We don't have cigarettes. We don't have syrup. We lost everything, but we gained our life because we'll be able to live and see our children grow, and we'll have a healthy community. But you try to gain your life. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do whatever I want. Can't nobody tell me what this, only God can judge me. All this type of mentality, you're going to be a homosexual. You're going to get AIDS. You're going to die because you're doing you and you're doing what makes you happy. That's another big one. How did I miss that one? The LGBT community is the biggest. Make yourself happy. Love me. Do what I want. All those ideologies really bring nothing but death, disease, and destruction to our people. Satanism is LGBT community too.
Right.
If you make those parallels too. Listen to things that they say in that community, and it perfectly matches up with Satanism. You understand? All right, let's keep going.
Zena, before there was any Nobel Prize for Mother Teresa, and really before most anyone knew who she was, I visited her home for the destitute and dying in Calcutta, and I saw the poor people laying there in the throes of death. I saw her comforting them, touching them, giving them what food and water they needed. Those, by your definition, were psychic vampires because they could give nothing back.
And you don't think Mother Teresa had some ulterior motive
No.
that she wanted these people
I
to?
really don't.
You don't think she wanted them to see her point of view?
No, as a matter of fact,
No,
these
I don't
people
think
could
she
not.
did,
I don't think.
actually.
As a matter of fact,
Because
speaking of,
most missions or missionaries want to convert people. They want people
To
see
save
their
souls. Isn't that what Christianity is
that's a
designed to
presumption
do?
I think that you people have made, but
Well, I think it goes deeper
I
than
think
that.
you've
I
made
think,
that presumption, but I think I visited more mission compounds.
I think
Let me finish.
Okay.
I think I've visited more mission compounds around this world than you have. And I remember being in a Bangladesh refugee camp some years ago during that time of bloody war. And I saw a Salvation Army officer standing by the bedside of a woman who had walked 100 miles just to get there to escape the fighting, and she was dying. He could not speak her language. She had moments to live. And I said to him, "You cannot convert her. You know that, don't you?" He said, "Yes, I know that." I said, "Why are you doing it?" He said, "Because I feel it is necessary to offer her a few moments of tenderness and comfort in the last minutes of her life." He had nothing to gain by it.
Well,
Now she was
say
a psychic vampire by your definition.
Underneath the whole Christian theology and the whole organized structure of Christian dogma is what I feel is a masochistic, almost love and wallowing in despair and death. Christians love nothing more than to see suffering so they can go and whine and moan over it and help people and feel how good they are that they're helping people. It's a very morbid religion. You worship a God who's nailed and bleeding to a cross. Everything in the Bible drips with morbidity and death.
Flesh and drink his blood.
And yet you
There's a
accuse
lot of
us of being morbid. If you want to be around dying and sick people all the time, then you have every right to. But we are not obliged to help these people.
And shouldn't that be a choice? Shouldn't that be I thought this was a free country. Shouldn't that be a personal choice from one individual?
Last minute too. And the thing about the Christians is that, like he said, like, oh, you're over here helping these people. You love seeing the suffering of these people. Like, that's a cut because these people wouldn't be suffering if it wasn't for the Christian church. Right. You know what I'm saying? They went and conquered and took all the lands from these people in Bangladesh. Now you want to go over there and help them. Like, why don't you just get rid of the white people that's ruling over Bangladesh? And that would be the biggest help. Right. You know what I mean? It's like you give out charity to people in Oakland, like who's Mark Zuckerberg, whoever, one of these cats, they'll come through and have a drive and give away this and do that when he's the reason why they need a drive in the first place. Why don't you just give them the money and you won't need to give them free turkeys at Christmas? Go ahead.
It's like they're trying to be.
Either or.
It's like they're trying to be the villain and the hero.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just it's just really hypocritical because it's like you want to sit up here and cause all these problems,
right?
But then you want to sit up here and act like you actually really want to help them, and then you sit up here and you say, "Oh, well, I should be helping," but you helping them anyway. Doesn't make any sense.
Right on, good brother. You know what I mean? And that like ties into two things. So when we follow our oppressor, we envy our oppressor, we start doing the same things. So who does that? Drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? Nino Brown. If you seen New Jack City, he destroyed the community, took over the Carter, selling a whole bunch of crack, making people poor, and then gives out turkeys and has a nice suit on, and people love him. Like, wow, he's a good guy. If you were not here, we wouldn't need your free turkey. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing our oppressor does. And that is a trick to get us to love them, even though they're abusing us, which is on a micro level, is like just an abusive relationship. It's like, damn, you done punched her in the eye and then bruised her lip. But then you put the ice in the thing and come here, baby, let me, you know I love you. That's America. You know what I'm saying? That's your oppressor. That's what we learn from that. It's evil as hell to do that as well. The last minute.
To the next. Certainly there are going to be people who derive pleasure from doing that. And who are you to say that there are going to be people who don't want to do that? Who are you to say that that's wrong?
Maybe it is a greater evil when all is said and done to keep millions of people alive who are not ever going to be productive, who are going to drain all of our resources and create a stagnant world.
But to comfort them in the hours of their death, to offer an act of human kindness.
Well,
That's why there's people like you. You don't want
You
us
want
there.
us to be like that as well?
You go hug them. I don't
Well,
want to.
if I were that dying person and you were standing over my body, yes, I would want you to be like that. If you were dying,
just by being a human being, you don't deserve my love and respect.
Pain?
Of course. And to those I love that suffer pain, I will comfort those who I like, those who I favor. I'm not everybody's friend.
Well, I'm sure you, Zena, heard the story from the Bible of the Good Samaritan. Are you familiar with that story?
Right.
Do you know what it's about?
Once again, because that when we say we only love blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Christians here we're satanic like him. So they make that evil too in itself, but it's not in the right context of how we're, you know what I mean? So that's a little tricky thing they do too. You know what I mean?
To argue this point, it's just going round and round.
No,
because
it is an important arguable point.
You want your main concern in Christianity is to help the weak. Christianity was designed as a religion for slaves, after all. Historically, if there is any truth to it, the first followers of Christianity were slaves in Judea. Now, is that not true?
No, that is.
What more evidence do we need? That's the last bar I really wanted to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the Christian tried to deny, no, they weren't. He said, well, I'll play his part.
Who were the first followers of Christianity?
In fact, the first followers of Jesus Christ were not only common working people, but some of the most eminent intellectuals of the day, such as Saul of Tarsus, who were
working people underneath the Roman Empire. They were goddamn slaves, man. This is a book about slaves. And that's what he is alluding to and admitting to. So we know if they hate poor people, they hate homeless people, they hate welfare people, they hate slaves, we know what this Satanism is about. You know what I mean? So it just exposed everything. So we know who our enemies are. You study these enemies, you see what they do. Don't fall for the wiles of the devil. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, give me that precept, and I got a few more. Where is that? I think that's in Ephesians. It might be wiles of the devil. What is that? Ephesians 6:11. Yeah. And I got a few more precepts. I'm gonna cut this video off and we're gonna go. Boom. All right. All right. Whoever got it, go ahead and read it first. You got it, Morgan? All right, let's go.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11.
Right.
Put on the whole armor of God.
Right.
That ye may be able to withstand, to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Right. When you think about the Wile E. Coyote, right? He was always tricking the rabbit or whatever, Bugs Bunny. He'll put the thing like it's a tunnel to drive through. It's a brick wall behind it. It's a trick. Be careful of the wild. Put on the armor of God. Get into class. Learn this Bible. Get the understandings. Get the breakdowns. And understand who your enemy is so that you won't fall for their tricks and their traps. Because it looks like one thing. It sounds great. God loves everybody. It sounds great. You should care about yourself before you help somebody else. It sounds great that you should indulge and live your life and be free and do what you want. All the laws are turned away with. That sounds like a good thing to follow, but it's really a trick and a trap. Go ahead. No sweat.
Verse 7. Even as it is meet for me to think this of you all, because I have you, I have you in my heart.
Okay, my fault. It doesn't go to where he goes around like a roaring lion. Is that in there? That's another part. It's another precept. But that's the wild if it's not there.
Wow.
All right. That's another precept as well. You can look that one up on your own time. The devil goes around like a roaring lion to devour. Like he wants to destroy us, and we have to put on the armor of God and use wisdom to see who he is. All right. Let's drop that. Let's go to Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. He said, this is a religion of slaves. He is right. This is a culture of slaves. This is here to free us. Go ahead, when you got it? Or what you saying now, young man?
1 Peter 5 and verse 8.
Go ahead, read it. You can read it without the mic, so I'll just read it loud.
Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh out, seeking whom he may devour.
Right.
think that was
That's it. Yeah. He goes like a roaring lion, and that's how they are. They want to liken themselves to this dominant species, this dominant animal, and they're like, we have to destroy the weaklings. We have to kill off the poor. We have to get rid of the destitute and welfare state, and we will enrich the planet Earth and make the Earth a better place. And that's the mindset. Now imagine somebody. So it's like these little people are the little people. Imagine that Donald Trump really believes this. And now he has the Secret Service, nuclear bombs, all the money of the richest nation on earth, and he's pushing this agenda. That's what he's doing right now. So when we go out and say that the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, they know it, they believe it, but we have to show our people that this is who they are. You know what I'm saying? Their actions, you said earlier, you will know them by their fruits. We see what Donald Trump is doing. He's trying to get rid of welfare, trying to get rid of the immigrants. He's trying to take away this, take away that, enrich his friends, give more money to Elon Musk. You already rich. Give him more money. Give him more money. Don't give it to the poor. We need to get rid of these people. Hopefully we can build up AI enough so that we don't need niggas to pick our food anymore. We can kill them all off. That's the agenda. Anything else we got? What we got in that one I wanted up?
It's the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9.
Right.
For Esau is the end of the world.
Right.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
This is what Christ was talking about. He was telling them that the day of vengeance, the Esau is the beginning of the world, or no, the end of the world, but Jacob is the beginning of thereafter. Like now is our time. The more and more this place falls because of their greed, the more and more we're going to see our people start rising up. Drop down to verse, I believe, 10. Let me see, 2 Ezra 6. Go to verse 18.
Verse 18. And it said, Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 19. And will begin to make inquisition of them. That's all. Yeah, it's all. Inquisition of them that they be, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness.
Right.
And when the affliction of Sion shall be fulfilled.
Right. And that's when we're going to end our suffering. I mean, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are going to be the ones that rule this place. All right. Give me, I got a few. We're going to run through them. Give me Tobit 1 and 16. And then, yep. Oh, yeah, 902. I don't want to hold it too long.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 1, verse 16.
Right.
And in the time of Enemessar, in the time of Enemessar, I gave many alms to my brethren.
To who?
To my brethren.
Go ahead.
And gave my bread to the hungry.
Right. So they want to believe that they should help their people, and whoever is strong, whatever, we need to help our brothers. That's the spirit of this Bible. We're not going to go to Ethiopia either. The same thing they said. But we for damn sure not going to say we should deny the poor and hungry of our nation either. Our mission is to go and help the poor, those in prison, those that need, you know what I'm saying, the truth of God. Keep going. Is there anything else on that one?
And my clothes to the naked. And if I saw any of my nation dead,
right,
or cast about the walls of Nineveh, I buried him.
So so then you see the thin line, right? We don't believe everything them Christians say, and we don't believe everything them Satanists say. But somewhere in that middle, the truth is there. You know what I mean? Like they are two sides of the same coin, and one person is giving you a little bit of the Bible, really don't believe the Bible is evil as hell. One person is fighting against the Bible, really don't believe that either, they're evil as hell. So no, we shouldn't go to Ethiopia and help them, but no, we shouldn't just disregard the poor and not help them. We got to help our people, our nation. All right, drop that. So that's where they try to make us seem like we're just as evil as them. And then, you know, the other ones, they want to put us in the group of the Christians because we're teaching the Bible. Nah, man, we're Israelites. We teach the truth. All right, drop that. Let's go to I got obviously Exodus. Let me get Romans 13 and 14. I wanted to bring that one up. Number 5.
Verse 14, sir.
Go ahead. What I say?
Chapter 13. Verse 14, sir.
Call it out.
The book of Romans, chapter 13, and verse 14.
13, 14, yeah, that's it.
But put ye on the Lord, Yahushua Mashiach,
Right, put on Christ.
and make not provision for the flesh.
Right, so this is talking about put on Christ. We should emulate Christ and be like Christ. But don't make provisions, don't provide for your flesh. The things that your flesh want, you got to learn how to deny yourself, get disciplined, and do what is right according to the laws of God. And that's the opposite. That's the indulgence that they tell you to do. Indulge, do whatever your flesh wants, do as thou wilt. A lot of evil comes from that, and nothing good comes from it. And for us to follow the laws of God, even the Christian church tries to make it seem evil for us to be disciplined. But that is where the true righteousness comes from. All right. That was just that for your precepts, but we can get down to these more on another time. We want to. But also talking about Christ as a man that just wants to just lie down and die. Give me Luke 19 and 22. And then y'all can write these down. Oh, yeah.
The book of Luke, chapter 19, and verse 22.
Right.
And he saith unto him, out of thine own mouth I will judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knowest that I was an austere man.
Right. He knew that Christ is an austere man. Right? What is an austere man? What? Whoever. Yeah. Serious? Uh-huh. Go ahead, young man. Jesus.
I was going to say the same thing.
Okay. All right. Definition of austere. Severe or strict in manner, attitude, or appearance. Very strict attitude, very severe, stern, harsh, unfeeling, stony, flinty. You understand? Self-denying. Christ, that's how it is. Sober. These are all definitions of the word austere. He was not playing. You understand? Like General Hyman is an austere man. Commander Johanna is an austere man. Captain Ashaparian is an austere man. You know, sidebar, listen to Captain Mashak yesterday. He was saying you will know someone by their characters, and you don't have to know something more about them to know something is true or not. And he said basically there was a time they called him, pranking him after camp. It was like, yeah, we had to leave our camp in DC. They ran us over. We had to run up the block. Captain Mashak like, for real? We're gonna head over there right now. You know what I mean? He was like, where was Captain Osh? He was like, yeah, Captain Osh ran with us, man. We got over there. He said, oh no, I know y'all joking. He said Captain Osh is gonna die on that corner. He ain't leaving. If it was Captain Osh out there, he was like, yeah, you're right. They was just joking. You know what I mean? Because Al-Shaparian is an austere man. He's gonna teach the truth. If somebody kind of run him, that's just gonna be the day I die. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's the spirit of how men have to speak bold as a lion. Go down to verse 27.
Verse 27. But those mine enemies, which I would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
Right. So, I mean, this is the type of man Christ was. He's coming back to put things in order and he's going to catch a lot of bodies. Salaki. You know what I mean? Like, Christ is an austere man. He's not playing. But, you know, for time's sake, I won't go through anything else. I had a couple more precepts in Ezra 6 and 20. Talks about us being slaves. Lamentations 1 and 5 is a good one. Lamentations 4 and 22. And Luke 18, this story is the one I really like as well. If I can, if y'all can bear with me 2 more minutes, is we good? Give me Luke 1 and 18 and 1. This will be the last one. Yeah, Christ wasn't no pansy. Christ wasn't no Salakia.
And this is Luke chapter 18, verse 1.
Right.
And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint. Saying, there was in a city a judge which feared not God, neither regarded man.
Right, yeah, this judge was an evil judge. He didn't care about God. He didn't care about man. He just was heartless. You know what I mean? Kind of like how these Edomites was talking. He didn't give a damn about nothing. Go ahead.
And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, Avenge me of mine adversary.
Right, please. These people that have harmed me, punish them. Give me justice. They put our people in prisons. They put crack in our communities. They raped our women. They molested our children. Give me justice against my adversaries. Avenge me. Go ahead.
And he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself, though I fear not God, nor regard man.
You know, I don't care about the Lord. I don't give a damn about nothing. Y'all know Juice. Y'all seen Juice? You might be too young for that. Tupac said, you know what? I didn't like that at first when he said that. But actually, I don't give a damn about myself. I don't give a damn about nothing. I don't even damn about you. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't give about nothing. This is how this means. I don't care about God. I don't care about man, nothing. You know what I mean? This is spirit. Keep going.
Yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me.
All right, he's like, yeah, I don't even care about it, but she keeps bothering me about this. I'm going to give her what she wants. Keep going.
And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge said.
See what this unjust judge, he's taking briberies. He's letting the guilty go away. He's convicting the innocent. See what this unjust did? He gave this woman justice. Keep going.
And shall not God avenge his own elect?
One more time.
Shall not God avenge his own elect?
Is he not going to give us justice, his chosen people? Right. It's going to happen. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is why we do the work in the UPK. Right. This is why we changed our lives. This is why we prayed unto the Most High to deliver Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We're seeing it happen right now. World War III that we've been talking about since 1969 is on the news right now, Hakim, Agwadian. They're talking about it on CNN. The scholars, the intelligent people, the ones that run the military are in fear right now because they see the writings on the wall. When are we going to wake up and see that it's time for us to change? Because our God is going to avenge the elect. He is going to give our people freedom for the righteous acts of you, brothers and sisters, man. Going to the Passover, stopping doing the things that we've done, turning a new leaf. The blood of the slaves is crying unto the Lord. The blood of the saints is crying unto the Lord. The millions of people, Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, Paul, Simon, Samuel, I mean, all the great men, Jeremiah, Isaiah, these men gave up their lives in order to see the things that we have the opportunity to do right now, man. To not follow Satan, not live like these selfish bastards that are out here every day promoting death and destruction in our community. Worshiping some Baphomets, worshiping the Illuminati, painting their fingernails black, putting eyeliner in, living like disgusting people. That's not our culture. We've got to come back and be a righteous nation and follow these laws and abstain from what the world wants us to do. Cleaning ourselves up is what's going to convict the Spirit of the Lord to give us justice, just like this woman right here. Because Christ, in essence, is that one saying, Lord, please, come on, we've had enough. Get these brothers free. Give them justice. Go ahead and read a little bit more. Verse 7 again.
And shall not God avenge them? And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth?
Right. He's going to do it. It's going to be quick, like a thief in the night. These things, that's what I'm saying. We can't play with this. It's going to happen. It's going to like one day, everybody remember before COVID, this is normal. The next thing, everything shut down, whole world. You like, is this ever even going to go back? I'm like, man, I don't even know if we're ever going to go to a concert or get on a plane. No, like, it just seemed like this is it. It's going to be like that. This time is not recovering. Right. It's going to be worse. So why play with the opportunity? Many are called, but few are chosen. Prepare yourself for temptation. You know what I'm saying? Was that second Ezra or is that Ecclesiasticus second chapter? Ecclesiasticus second chapter. You know what I'm saying? Like read that verse. That's what's going to happen and try to take you away from the truth when this is where we need to be in order to find that sanctuary and safeness. You know what I mean? The Lord is going to come quickly like a thief in the night when you least expect it. And it's almost like, how can you not expect it at this point? Seeing the things that are going on every day. So that's that. I appreciate y'all for go ahead up. Is there some more? No, we're not gonna pull that one today. But the while y'all can look into that, we're gonna pull it next week. I'm gonna go ahead and have Officer Mo Khan read the security announcements. So we'll close out the call. Unless anybody have any comments or something before we go. I want to say anything. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, what I yeah. Romans 12. What's that say? I called that? Okay. What does it say? Our life has to be a living sacrifice. You understand? Like us giving up the things that we want, our carnal flesh, because that's what they said. Love and trust your carnal desires. That's what she said in that interview. We got to deny our flesh, deny our carnal desires, because weed is good. I'm going to sit here and say getting high is not fun. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to say dealing with popping whores and making money illicitly is not great. It's delicious. But is it what God wants? No. So don't do it. Because it doesn't just, it's not life is not about you. That's what America is about, selfish. You get what you want and live your life. But your life affects that sister when you treat her like a whore. Your life affects your children when you just go and sleep with whoever. Your life affects your community when you sell drugs and destroy somebody else's mother. Right. So we have to be that living sacrifice and give up what we want to do to help our people and have the Lord have mercy on our nation. You know what I'm saying? Good precept. All right. Let's go ahead up. Your security announcements. Yeah, Mocha. Yeah. No sweat. No.
The ISUPK security announcement. We are the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana, starting out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. This is the rule for a new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3, verse 8 through 10. Ma'asharah, it means 10 in Hebrew. 10% of any increase that the Lord gives you into the treasury department or teacher. This is a priest fund. Priest fund is a free will offering for priests. It is not mandatory. You can choose whatsoever amount you would like to give. The upcoming holy convocation is the feast of Hanukkah of Salakia. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Passover.
Right on.
It's the feast of Passover. It's going to be held on, I believe, the April 12th.
Yep.
On April 12th. Mm-hmm. Get your plane tickets right now if you haven't gotten them. It's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia.
Right.
It's going to be a glorious day. If you would like to,
April 12th, right? Atlanta, Georgia, right? It's not good.
April 12th, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep.
If any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, he must start wearing all black. That's boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. This concludes the ISPK security announcements. Men of Israel, Hamas, it means to stand in the Hebrew. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the teacher of the class today. Men of Israel, Hamas Shabbat, Hamas Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatah. Men
of Israel, Yahweh Matah. Men of Israel, sorry, we're going to turn to face the sisters of the school. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters in the school and those online. Men of Israel, Hamas Shabbat, Hamas Barak, Yahweh Shabbat. Yahweh Matah. Dismissed.
Correct.